The next day, when I got up, I said to my brother, "Look, I don't feel like hearing a story today. Let's muck about like we used to." No, said my brother. "I want to hear some more stories." No, I said, "I want to play about." "You remember that time we did theatres from behind the curtain?" "Yeah, I do remember," said my brother. "You pulled down the curtain." "Look, I want to hear some more stories. If you want to muck about in here on your own, you can." "Look," I said, "I can't play football on my own, can I?" "Well, you'll have to come with me then, won't you?" So off we went to see Horst again. And as soon as we got in, my brother said he didn't want to come today. He wanted to muck about. So that made me look stupid. And Horst could see that, so he said to my brother, "Leave him alone. Perhaps he'll change his mind when he hears what Till did next." Till was in Leipzig, and by now people all over Germany were beginning to talk about him. The bakers told the butchers, and the butchers told the tailors, and the tailors told the landladies, and the landladies told the barrel makers, and they all said the same thing: "Look out for Till Owlyglass. He may trick you." One day, Till went to the Shoe Menders to have his boots greased. In the old days, people used to put grease on their boots to keep them soft. Till was just saying, "I'll have my boots greased all over, please," when the young boy in the shop, the apprentice, recognised him. He rushed over to his master and whispered, "Do you know who this is, master? This is Till Owlyglass, the famous trickster. We must do exactly as he says, or he'll do something awful to us." "You're quite right, son," said the shop mender. "Do as you're told. Grease his boots really well, so he can't complain about a thing." But as soon as the boy got down to work, he remembered the story he had heard about Till baking owls and monkeys and doing just as he was told. And he thought, "I could do that. Till asked me to have his boots greased all over, and that's what I'll do." And he set to greasing the boots all over, inside and out. A few days later, Till came to collect his boots. "Here they are," said the shoe mender. "I hope you're satisfied, sir." Till saw what the boy had done, so he laughed, and then he said, "Yeah, that's very good, very good. You're a clever fellow, aren't you? No one has ever greased my boots so well before." "Yes, greased all over, exactly. Well, I like to see people doing what I ask them to do. How much do I owe you?" "That'll be 2 shillings, sir," said the shoe mender. So Till paid, and off he went. The boy then told his master what he had done, and they both had a good laugh over it, saying, "Oh, yeah, well, for once Till Owlyglass has had a dose of his own medicine." But Till was standing outside the shop, listening to them, and without any warning, he put his head through the glass window so that it broke into 1,000 pieces. Pow! And he said, "Oh, I forgot to ask you, sir, what kind of grease did you use on my boots?" The shoe mender looked up. "What are you up to, you thug? You've just smashed my window." "Don't let it get you down, master," Till said. "I was only asking a polite question. What did you grease my boots with?" The shoe mender was too annoyed to answer, so Till pulled his head back and went off whistling happily. But not before he heard the master yelling at the boy, "This is all your fault, son, and you'll have to pay for it. You thought you'd get even with Till Owlyglass, did you? Now who's the biggest fool? He can easily go off somewhere and clean up his shoes, but I can't stick my window together, can I? He's tricked me just like he did the master baker in Brandenburg. I shall make you pay for this, don't you worry, son. It'll teach you one lesson. Better that we suffer Owlyglass than try to beat him at his own game." "And that's the end of that one," said Horst. My brother said, "Did Till ever do any more of that business of doing just as he was told?" "Yes, he did," said Horst. "I'll tell you about it next." One time, Till went to a tailor and said, "I am a tailor, and I'm looking for work. And the tailor said, "Good, I need someone to help me." "What do you want me to do?" said Till. "Well," said the tailor, "I want you to do some sewing that can't be seen by anyone. Can you do that?" "Yes, of course," said Till. So the tailor handed Till 2 pieces of cloth to be sewn together so well that the stitches couldn't be seen. And off he went. Till took the work and crept into a big box that happened to be sitting in the shop. There, in the pitch dark, he began sewing. Some time later, the tailor came back. He couldn't see Till, so he shouted out, "Hey, where are you?"
"I'm in here, master,"
said Till from inside the box. "What are you doing in there?" said the tailor. "You can't possibly see your work in there." And you know what Till said, don't you? He said,
"I'm doing what you told me, master. You told me to do sewing that no one could see. So that's what I'm doing, aren't I? You can't see me in here."
The tailor realised he had a fool on his hands. So he grabbed hold of Till by the scruff of his neck and booted him out the shop. "Get out of here," he said. "What about my pay?" said Till. "You ought to pay me," said the tailor, "for the material you've spoilt." So Till was back on the streets, and he still had no money in his pockets. After that, Till thought he'd like to get his own back on tailors. He sent a letter to all the master tailors of Saxony and asked them to come and see him in the old town of Rostock. In the letter, he said he was going to tell them a secret which would help them and their children so much that they'd be rich and successful till the end of their days. As soon as all the tailors received their letters, they had meetings with one another to help them make up their minds what to do. They all decided that they wouldn't go. They said, "That would teach Till a lesson. He'd look a right fool having a meeting with no one at Rostock." But secretly, each tailor thought to himself, "What if he really does have something to tell us? If I went, I could learn something that would help me do better than the next man, and I'd get more business, and I'd get richer and more successful, yeah." So on the day at Rostock, the town was jam-packed, full of tailors, all come to hear what Till had to say. Till wandered about on his own, letting himself be seen, and soon rich master tailors were approaching him and offering big sums of money for his secret. But Till wouldn't have any of it. He said, "Come to the field, outside the city wall tomorrow at 3. There I will tell my secret to anyone who pays 1 shilling. Well, of course, many of the tailors had come a long way to hear what Till had to say and to learn the secret that would help them so much. So they were quite happy to pay. The next day, a great many of them, came to the field outside the city wall, and also a great many other people who knew that something funny was bound to happen whenever Till was around. The place was packed by the time Till stepped up onto a platform in the middle of the field. In front of him was a sea of faces, stretching as far as he could see. And nearby was a barrel full of the shillings he had collected. Till made a low bow and began his speech. "Good afternoon and welcome, honourable tailors. I'm glad you have realised today is your chance to learn something for your own good. I see that many of you have come from a long way off. Now, listen very carefully to what I say so that you don't miss a single word. I guess most of you have got a pair of scissors, a tape measure, a thimble, needles, thread, and an iron. If you've all got that, then you've got the tools of your trade." The tailors looked at one another. "Well, you know all that, of course. But what I'm going to tell you now, you must make note of and remember, because it is very, very important. Are you ready? They nodded. After you have threaded your needle, and before you begin to sew, you must remember. Are you listening? You must remember. Are you listening? To make a knot at the end of the thread. This will stop you sewing a line of stitches and then the thread falling out. In this way, you will save many hours of time and work. You will become happy and rich. This is a great secret I'm telling you. I'm sure you will want to thank me for it, and you will think of me every time you sit down to sew. Till made another low bow. The tailors stood and looked at one another. Someone called out, "Well, everyone knows you have to tie a knot in the end of the thread. We've known that in our trade for thousands of years." "Aha," said Till. "Then you ought to thank me for telling you the truth. But if you don't want to, I won't lose any sleep over it. You can all go home now, and I won't keep you any more." After that, the tailors just wanted to get at Till with their scissors and irons, but he was off and away in no time at all, whoosh, with his barrel of money under his arm. He knew how to lose himself among the townspeople who weren't tailors, who were all laughing their heads off at his trick. Up and down the field, people were chanting, "Don't forget to tie a knot, don't forget to tie a knot." And Till wasn't seen round that way for a long time, I can tell you. "Ah, well," said Horst, "that's it. Look, can one of you get me a drink of water?" "Yes," said my brother. And he got Horst a glass of water. Just before Horst began to drink, my brother said, "Hang on a minute, Horst. I must just tell you a secret about drinking water. It really makes it taste much better." "What's that?" said Horst. "Remember to open your mouth before you tip the water in. Otherwise, all the water will spill down your front." Horst laughed. "Ha ha! You think you're Till Owlyglass, do you? Now get out of here before I think up some trick to play on you." Once again, we were out of the room in a flash.